Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Fishakova and I would like to discuss today blockchain developments which I'm seeing in the commodity trade finance market these days. As a quick intro, I hold a master's degree in IT project management for financial institutions and an MBA degree from INSEAD. And I used to work for major French banks advocating for digital transformation of the financial institutions industry. I also worked for a couple of startups building trade finance solutions, one of them on Ethereum and another one on Hyperledger Fabric platforms. Today I'm happy to work for R3, where I'm taking care of the trade finance business line. What is R3? R3 is an enterprise software firm backed by a collaborative alliance of over 300 financial institutions, regulators, trade associations, professional services firms, and technology companies, all of them developing on Corda, our blockchain platform designed specifically for businesses. Corda, our product, is a blockchain platform of a third generation. Quick recap on all the generations. The first one were Bitcoin and Ethereum platforms. Open networks with a consensus based on proof of work. Cryptocurrencies, or native tokens, how we call them, are important elements of these platforms' functionalities. These platforms provide quite a questionable level of privacy and honestly are not very efficient and fast. The second generation of blockchain platforms are private business networks such as Hyperledger Fabric and Quorum. Crypto assets became optional at this stage as the nature of the consensus mechanism has evolved from the proof of work towards different types of consensuses depending on the project. These platforms provide a higher level of privacy and efficiency, as well as introduce some standardization of assets and processes, for example, KYC. And of course, the third generation, the Corda distributed ledger technology platform, which was built based on R3 experiences with the platforms of previous generations. Corda greatly deals with the networking efficiencies and transactions privacy. At R3, we also invested a lot into interoperability of the Corda-based business networks. But anyway, I don't want to go into technical details too much, and just want to mention that what kind of problems Corda blockchain can solve for us. So if you look on the left, you can see on the screen a highly fragmented centralized systems with heavy reconciliation processes. And if you look on the right side of the screen, you will see a decentralized platform which simplified data reconciliation and streamlined validation processes. That's how R3 sees the future. Here I would like to list the key features of our blockchain platform, like fine-tuned for the enterprise, consensus on the data that matters, privacy with provenance, applications for any kind of industry. In addition to trade finance, we have applications for supply chain, for insurance, for telecoms, healthcare, and so on and so on. Corda also integrated with legacy infrastructure, and of course our best invention is the global interoperable network. With Corda, the network is fully open, transparently governed, and is technically attractive for firms to deploy applications and build business networks. Corda is uniquely designed to interoperate across business networks and retain strong identity insurance and privacy features, allowing firms access to new markets without duplication of the infrastructure. We call all of this the Corda network. Now, let's stop talking about Corda and let's have a quick look on the commodity transaction lifecycle, which involves many processes within each company and across market participants. As you can see, the data reconciliation is long, heavy, and often manual on each step of the transaction. How it can be different if we deploy a decentralized system? As you see on your screen, a shared ledger provides a unique feature, which is called "What I see is what you see," which delivers trust to the whole process and eliminates the need for reconciliation. And what are the tangible benefits for commodities trading of this technology? First of all, automating the manual processes of verifying trade documents will help to reduce fraud risks and duplicate invoicing while improving operational efficiency in general. Secondly, visibility on orders, transactions, and movements of goods will help financial institutions make better credit assessments for trade finance. And the third, with validated information on trade receivables, it could also allow companies to secure working capital loans at better rates. Wonderful future, isn't it? At R3, we operate at the center of a growing ecosystem of 350 of the world's leading institutions applying blockchain technology to unlock value in global trade. An interesting fact, 60% of the world's blockchain applications for trade finance are built on our Corda platform. Here are the examples of different projects that we see emerging as a part of R3 trade and supply chain ecosystem. For example, wholesale trading, price setting, commodities tokenizations, goods tracking and logistics, working capital optimization, and trade documents digitalization, such as digital letters of credit and electronic bills of lading, and many others. But I think it's enough of the theoretical examples. Let's talk about the real use cases that we work on at R3. So, for example, oil supply chain. The simplified oil supply chain depicted above is a representative of global oil trading markets, with minor variations to account for the country of market-specific regulatory regime and other factors, of course. It is common for the flow of goods within the oil trading supply chain to be driven by integrated oil companies or oil traders. Banks often provide trade financing for international transactions together with multiple intermediaries. There are different levels of integration globally. For example, producer-owned or third-party storage or refining. This can introduce demand uncertainty, as well as reduce the inventory visibility throughout the value chain. Each third-party purchase along the chain is treated as a single new transaction with double measurement of the amount sold and bought. Such an efficient process, isn't it? Within the oil industry, the supply chain constraints can be eased by Corda platform. This is why the OCC Oil and Gas Blockchain Consortium was founded. The goal of the consortium is to advance blockchain technology for the purpose of driving industry learnings, guidelines, frameworks, and capabilities around common industry pain points. The consortium has recently performed a successful POC around digitizing the AFE balloting process. For those who are not familiar with this process, AFEs are used in the oil and gas industry to approve capital and expense projects and determine working interests among parties participating in projects under a joint operating agreement. So as you understand, the process is manual, heavy, long, and painful for all the counterparties. So the POC was very successful, and I hope to see the live version of this product to go live soon. For those who are interested to know more about this research and developments of the OOC Oil and Gas Blockchain Consortium, I provided a link at the bottom of this slide. So just click on it and see the press release. And in case you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. Another example, trade finance. Corda is helping the companies, of course, within the Corda ecosystem, to optimize the laborious process of arranging and verifying letters of credit and bills of lading through the adoption of either open account or electronic letters of credit and electronic bills of lading solutions. For example, R3's partner, TradeIX, is the world's first blockchain-based trade finance platform, which offers innovative trade finance solutions to provide companies with open account trade solutions, enabling access to broader financing providers and improving business efficiencies and working capital. So, of course, you all heard, I suppose, about Marco Polo Network. For those who never heard about it, you can click on the link to their website or again ask questions via email to me or to my colleagues at R3. We will be happy to share more. And the last example, which I would like to discuss, which I find very, very, very interesting, is around the deep tier supply chain finance. We all know that extending finance to the long tail of suppliers remains very risky and costly. SMEs are often faced with high borrowing rates, unfortunately. But with core applications, which enable new levels of transparency into SMEs' cash flows, goods, payments, and identities, and with additional streamlined KYC and onboarding, all this improves profitability and frees up capital. Accounts payable can be turned into digital assets that program ownership and the flow of cash into, pay attention to that, transferable tokens that can either pay the holder at maturity, be sold on at a discount at the marketplace, or be passed on down to the supply chain to extend financing options to smaller suppliers. I find it very interesting as a solution and which fits brilliantly into blockchain environment. At R3, we have several partners working on deep tier supply chain solutions, and I wish to be able to share more about this project with you today. Unfortunately, all the developments are confidential at this moment. Some of the solutions are already at a quite advanced stage, POCs or even pilots, and I'm expecting them to be of a huge success once they are announced publicly and start to operate with live transactions. So looking forward for that. So that's pretty all what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope this was helpful. In case you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me or R3 via the contacts that displayed on your screen right now, and that you will be able to find in the deck that will be shared after this session. Thank you very much and have a nice day.